Alright, this is the multiple times I've tried to do this video today and had all sorts of oddball problems. And I'll try to get a good view of some of the mulberries on here. And I hope you can see them pretty good because they are loaded. And they're just slap loaded. And I've had chickens up in the tree. All the way up in there. I had chickens up in the tree, and also had them jumping, trying to catch some, trying to grab some. So anyway, the feeding frenzy on the mulberries will begin in the near future, as will the pears and some of the other things that are on the property. And so we're just loaded, and I do mean loaded with this tree. The other two, the male is yeah pigs. They were one of the interruptions before. And some of them are starting to go a little white and just a hair of a pink to orangey color, which is the color these turn when they're ripe. The male, I always describe him as a male mulberry that has a few fruits once in a while, and that's what we got this year. You can see I got a couple of mulberries. I got a couple of mulberries on my male plant, and there's a couple more over here. And anyway, he just doesn't do much. I'm probably going to cut him down one of these days. I keep saying that and I ain't done it yet. And my pigs are needing rings in their nose because they're doing a lot of rooting, and I'm not happy about it. And this is an autumn olive, and he is just getting ready to start putting on his blooms. If I can get it to stop bouncing around, I can show you some. There's some blooms in there. And then on my hazels, I love hazelnuts, but so far I'm not having much luck. I've got the wrong kind of soil, and this is one of those flying adventures you take sometimes in life, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Another hazel there. They're getting some size to them, so it's not impossible. All right, we've also got my chestnuts, and my chestnuts are absolutely loaded on the catons this year, and there's quite a few on. And there's also, because of a frost that we got a little bit late after they had started putting on the leaves good, we got some leaf tip damage, and not really going to worry too much about that. But all of the trees are, all of the chestnut trees are loaded with catons, and a lot of them for normal. We won't be able to tell if any of them have a female body for maybe a week and a half. We'll start seeing signs of it. All right, we're going to walk down to the other side over here. Walk past some other trees. My pigs are giving me some help with some of my stuff, and that help's not really much help. So this has also got quite a few catons on it. Not quite as many as the one over there, but you've also got some of the leaf tip damage from the frost. And all right, I'm gonna look at I've tried several times to do a video today, and I've had more problems with dogs and everything else under the sun than you can shake a stick at. So, and I got a tree that the pigs have rubbed on. I'll have to stand upright. Anyway, some of my pears are loaded. This one's got a fair amount of fruit. I would not call him loaded, but he's got a fair amount of fruit, and we will be thinning some of the other trees. But like I said, he's probably about an okay number of pears. This one's got several also. And then I've got a couple that are simply loaded. And that's not even counting the ones down below. That where I get the majority of my fruit from on the pear front. When these things really get going, the chickens and pigs are going to be mighty, mighty, mighty happy. So this one's loaded, like I said. I may have to knock a little bit of fruit off of him for certain. And this one over here has some fruit. That's about the best way to describe it. And again, it's liable to be that late frost that got it. That happens. And this one over here has a very nice number. I probably won't have to knock any or many off. I'll just wait till it gets starting to produce good, and I'll make my decision on him, you know, as it goes. But anyway, this is the one my wife likes a lot. It's her favorite pear tree on the property. It's an Asian pear, and I have no clue. We simply bought it as an Asian pear, and she likes it. We've got another Asian pear on the property that produces a pretty good fruit, but about every third year it gets hit by the fire blight. This one so far has not been hit by it. And also, my years and years ago, I bought a couple of dwarf mulberries, and I just kind of stuck them on a hill, on a terrace, and thought, well, if they make something, they make something. This is the first year they've actually made fruit, and I don't know about you, but that ain't exactly worth it, you know. It's just not really worth it to me. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably going to cut these down. But anyway, just a short walk around the food forest. Some things are growing pretty well, and others are like, I didn't like that frost. So anyway, I will let this go. And if you enjoy this sort of thing, I would ask you to subscribe. And not in the too distant future, we'll be able to be throwing some fruit and watching the chickens eat out of the trees and things like that. So I hope you enjoy this sort of thing. And if you do, subscribe, please.